Hello, everybody. My name is Mahael Abdul-Qawi. I'm the founder and representative of the Accountability Party for Human Rights, a political vanguard organization comprised of individuals who have chosen a path of self-awareness and self-understanding to become something more for themselves, for their loved ones and family, and then enlarge the communities. In this video, I would like to. This video originally was intended to be a joke in nature, but I decided to, because when I sit back and think more about what I wanted to talk about and how it is actually a very funny matter, there's also a lot of seriousness behind it as well too. And what I'm talking about is our Vice President of the United States of America. For those who don't know, I am a United States citizen. Excuse me. But I would like to talk about our Vice President, Kamala Harris. And the reason why I want to talk about Kamala Harris is because I'm trying to find the best way to describe it without seeming like I hate the woman or anything like that. I don't hate the woman. I don't hate anybody. I dislike a lot of individuals, but I realize a lot of these individuals are just lost souls who are hurt people who are spreading their hurt through greed and through corruption. Maybe if they seek therapy or actually found faith, maybe they could be right. Who knows? But in this case for Kamala Harris, to me, it's funny because what the left establishment, the Democrats like to do, they are key advocates for pandering to the people to try and get votes. They've been doing this for the last few elections. Hillary Clinton, we don't need to dive into her bag of pandering. Let's not even dive into her pulling out hot sauce on the Breakfast Club, a predominantly black radio station, which was cringeworthy in itself. But yeah, the Democratic establishment are very known for this pandering. And of course, there are those on the Republican side, on the right, who do it as well at times. But but the Democrats, because they participate more in the culture wars, because they, for some reason, have adopted to the culture wars as a way to defend it and to be its shining protectors of these cultural battles, is very disturbing, actually. But they tend to pander a lot. And Kamala Harris, when it was announced that she was going to be Joe Biden's VP, it was that decision that I was never, I didn't vote for either side. I personally vote for third party every time. I don't really care which third party, but it's definitely not going to be Democrat or Republican at all. But when things were getting heated in the moment and opinions were flying around about who's going to vote for this, vote for that, there was a slight moment of humanity where, the public opinion, the chatter started to affect my decision. And right when, I voted, I did look at Biden. And then there was a moment where I did consider it. But then seeing Kamala Harris's name really killed it for me, because Joe Biden he is a senior citizen. So even if he is capable of doing two terms, I doubt physically he's going to make it through 2 terms. Just look at Barack Obama. He aged so much in the span of 8 years. And yes, 8 years is a long time, but you can also see physically it aged him pretty fast. And I mean, of course, Obama is now, vacationing in warm climates on resorts and whatnot. So I'm pretty sure he's bouncing back in retirement pretty nicely. But For Biden, I don't see him physically making it at his age. Obama had youth on his side too. But in the case of Biden, I don't see him making it, which means that we will have to deal with Kamala Harris. And I remember having this moment where that alone, that woman is not right within. And that's why I said I don't want to say like I hate her. I don't. I just dislike her, and I dislike that somebody who is not right within is in such a position is being set up to dictate our livelihood. Our livelihood is already being dictated by people who are already not right within, but can do a somewhat okay job at passing off as if they do. Kamala Harris is the worst actress I've ever seen in my life. Like in my whole life. She's had a lot of blunders recently. And I don't want to wish for her demise. I hope that for her career's sake, she can find conviction. I hope that she can find a cause, something that can really give her a clear sense of direction. But I don't, me as somebody that has to live here for the next, hopefully 15 years and not longer, I don't think I can have any, I don't think I can be here and be, I would have to be outspoken all the time if she was ever to become president. That's what I'm saying. She cannot become president. And the fact that they used her as a pandering tool. Oh, she's the first Afro-American, Asian, or yeah, she's the first African-American and Asian woman to it's like a whole bunch of first shits that nobody really truly cares. And people only care because they forced it down our throats. This agenda where by the time her existence was even known to this country, we had to praise it and accept it. And then you have a bunch of people who are lost. A lot of young women, older women who are being manipulated to praise this woman who's not right within. Where's the accountability for this woman's actions? Can we talk about that instead of she's the first? How about we talk about she is the first woman to laugh on camera when being asked about the cannabis use and how that is putting people in prison. When she was in criminal justice, she is not even about being fair. She just abided to an agenda of filling up the prisons as much as she can using offenses that aren't really offensive. And her track record is very suspect. And unfortunately, I don't have all the stuff here. That's why I'm stumbling over it. But from everything that I've read, from several, not just like one source, from several sources talking about this woman's past, even when Tulsi Gabbard, a presidential candidate last year, when she brought this up to her on stage, Kamala hasn't bounced back since. And this is the person that young black and brown women have to look up to and celebrate. A fake? If we're going to get somebody who is of color than a woman, there are many, many more sufficient options. And please don't say Michelle Obama. She's not qualified, or Oprah. Jesus Christ, Michelle Obama was hugging George Bush, a fucking criminal. And Oprah, she hates black men, so we're not gonna talk about that. But Kamala Harris, man, the chaos in me laughs at her and everybody that praised her when they look at her now and her approval rating is at 27%. How is your approval rating less than with the president. And then the next pandering tool that they have lined up apparently as the next option, Pete Buttigieg, is at 37% approval rating. Now, I'm not trying to get into all the politics and all, but it's just that these are the facts to back up that these people aren't right within, but we're choosing people who are clearly, we're focusing so much on the pandering aspect. You can't pander to people and think and all that this is going to bring change or bring development. It really, it's such a baffling, it truly is baffling. And I know the point of this video really is to just kind of shine a spotlight on this failure of a pandering social experiment. And I'm glad that it happened on the highest level and not just through a Black Little Mermaid. I'm glad that this is happening on a VP, White House, West Wing level. So that way you can see that on all levels, this pandering shit doesn't help people grow. It doesn't help unify anybody. It doesn't, when we focus on identity instead of action and morale and conviction and your connection to a higher power, we get caught up in failure and disappointment and chaos and laughter. And inshallah, those who, if we're going to include everybody, let's include the best of the best from each group, not just the best actors from each group. But, and inshallah that Kamala Harris, she's able to bounce back. I mean, again, we got to think, this is just the first year of these guys' term. She has this in her first year, while Dick Cheney, Mr. I shot my friend by accident. I don't know why I put quotation around shot. I shot my friend on accident. There we go. Cheney, when in 4 years he had that approval rating, and Kamala, she's at this place now. It's I don't know. It's a truly laughing matter, and again, I really think it needed to be spotlighted, but more so in terms of not just the fact that she is incapable and she's not qualified in terms of her job specifically, but as a person, she's so quick to just hop on any agenda, to just smile and just act like everything's okay. It's very toxic. I'm sorry, it's very toxic. And this is the person that we have handling. I mean, of course, Biden is not fair, but I think I made that a fair point in terms of how I view Biden and in terms of what he's doing right now. Kamala is just, yeah. Inshallah.